Let us discuss the next question. This is from the year 2022. With reference to the writs issued by the courts in India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with a public duty. Statement 2. Mandamus will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company. Statement 3. Any public-minded person can be a petitioner to move the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Which of the following statements are correct? Now here the question is talking about the scope of two writs. One is the mandamus and the second one in statement 3 it is talking about quo warranto. So what does mandamus mean? The writ of mandamus, it is issued by the court on a public official or a authority when he or she fails to do the acts that is supposed to do. When the public authority, they are not working properly, when they are failing to do and discharge their official duties, the writ of mandamus will be issued. It means that the court is commanding the public official to discharge their duties. Now, it can be issued against the public authorities and even against those authorities who are acting based on the powers of the public authority. And the statement number 1 says, mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with public duty. Yes, this is especially for the public officials and public authorities. So why will mandamus be applicable to a private organization? It will be applicable only in the case if the private organization is entrusted with some public duty. When it is performing a public duty, it will be covered. Until then, it is not covered under the scope of mandamus. So this statement is correct because it will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with public duty. Again, mandamus will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company. Yes, the writ of mandamus, it is not applicable on individual or a private company, any private person. It can be an individual or it can be a corporate person. So here, even though, don't get misled by the term government company. Even though it is a government company, or say for example a public sector company, only when it is discharging public duty as the functions of the state, only in that case it will be covered under the writ of mandamus. If it is a government company but still acting for the commercial purpose, then it is as good as a public company. So there we shouldn't just go by the term government company. We should see what is the function, whether it is discharging any public duty or not. And because even a government company can have commercial functions and commercial interest, in that case it will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company, because here it is purely acting based on commercial interest and it is not doing any public duty as such. So this statement is correct. Any public-minded person can be a petitioner to move the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Quo warranto questions the authority of a person, by what authority they are holding the public office. So here it's not necessary that only the person who is directly impacted by that is affected. Any third party can also be a petitioner and move the court and get the writ of quo warranto issued. So which of the following statements are correct? 1, 2 and 3 all are correct. So answer will be D. Now let us look at the in-depth explanation. Writ of mandamus. Mandamus simply means we command. That is, the court is commanding a public official, asking him or her to perform the official duties when they have failed to discharge their official duties. And who is the mandamus issued against? It is issued against any public body, any public corporation, inferior court, tribunal, or the government. And it cannot be issued against private individuals, private bodies, or to enforce the departmental instruction that doesn't possess the statutory force, or against the president or governor, or against the chief justice of a high court who is acting in a judicial capacity, or when the duty is discretionary, or to enforce the contractual obligations. So simply said, in simple words, the mandamus won't be granted against private individuals and companies that have no public duty to perform. Here in this case, don't get confused by the term government company. Here the government company means the ownership is with the government, but that doesn't mean that it is discharging public duty. A PSU where it is owned by the government can still be for the commercial interest. It will be doing business just like any other private company. So here, because it is not discharging any public duty as such, it will be still considered as a private person who is a corporate entity. Now coming to quo warranto. Quo warranto means quo warranto. By what warrant or by what authority? It is issued by the court to inquire the legality of the claim to a public office. If somebody is holding a public office and if you have doubt whether that person has the authority to be in that office or not, you can get the writ of quo warranto issued from the court. And it cannot be issued on the ministerial office and the private offices. And this, it's not necessary that you directly have to be the party who is affected. Even a third person or any interested person can get this writ of quo warranto issued. That is what is mentioned in this question. Any public minded person can be a petitioner to move to the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Hence this is correct. So the answer is D, 1, 2 and 3 only. Let us discuss the next question. This is from the year 2024. A writ of prohibition is an order issued by the Supreme Court or the High Court to a government officer prohibiting him from taking a particular action, a parliament or legislative assembly to pass the law on prohibition, on a lower court prohibiting the continuation of proceedings in a case, to the government prohibiting it from following an unconstitutional policy. A writ of prohibition, as the name itself suggests, it is to prohibit or restrict, and it is issued by an higher court to the lower court from restricting it or prohibiting it from exceeding its authority. So we are very clear that it is issued by a higher court like the Supreme Court or the High Court to a lower court. And look at the options here. It is saying it is issued to the government officer. No, incorrect. It is issued to the parliament or legislative assembly. No, incorrect. It is issued to the lower court prohibiting it from continuation of proceedings in a case. Yes, correct. D, the government prohibiting it from following an unconstitutional policy. Again, incorrect. Now, which of the following are correct? Statement C is the relevant answer here. Now, what is prohibition? Prohibition means to prohibit or to restrain, to put some restrictions on conditions. It is issued by a higher court, whether it can be a Supreme Court or the High Court, to a lower court. Issued for what purpose? To prevent it from exceeding its authority or jurisdiction. And this writ, because it is issued by a higher court to the lower court, it is applicable only to the judicial bodies and the quasi-judicial bodies. It is not applicable on the administrative agencies or the statutory authorities or the private individuals or companies. So statement 3C is the correct answer for this question.